Hello and welcome back to art class. I am excited about the project that we will begin today. It's a school-wide collaborative art piece inspired by the street artist Kelsey Montague. She's an artist that does some really interesting interactive artworks. Here's a little video about her and her artwork.
My name is Kelsey Montague and I'm a pen and ink artist. I'm getting ready to do a street art piece. It's going to be a large pair of angel wings. The hashtag for this piece will be what lifts you, just to inspire people to interact with each other and to tell something that inspires them. After college I started working in a really detailed drawing just because it helped me relieve stress. Even like as a kid when I was coloring in coloring books, I would always start doing patterns because I didn't want to just color in something, I wanted to do something different. I'm filling it with images of New York City that is well known to people, like a slice of pizza, and then other images that are personal to me, and it all wraps up into this specific city. Something I really like about street art is that it's interactive and anybody can come up and see it. You don't have to go to a gallery. People will be able to interact with the piece and become part of the piece, which is why I wanted to do angel wings. It's really great being part of the art community online because there's a lot of collaborations and you can just reach out to another artist. I love interacting with people. I love getting to know people. Social media allows you as an artist to open up that door and people can feel like they're part of a creative process, which is really what it's all about. Go check out the piece and hashtag what lifts you, and hopefully you can jump in and join a really fun community.
Right, so here's some examples of the kind of finished product that we're going to have. And I got this idea from other art teachers who've done similar projects to this at their schools. I love how the finished piece looks. I love that it's interactive and that every one of us can contribute to create a finished work of art. So here's how we're going to do it. Okay guys, so we're going to each create a feather. Here's one I've already created, and you can see that that sparkle and that shine. I'm going to talk to you about the markers that we're going to use to create these, although we can also use the construction paper crayons that we use. They also, that you can see that glitter, they work well, will work well too because we're working on construction paper, just like the covers of our sketchbooks are made of. So and we have enough colors of construction paper actually that each class, each home room will have their own color of paper, so that when we create our finished artwork, and I can show you in here, this is where I was thinking about what should our inspiration be, and it ended up that the great inspiration for this project, Kelsey Montague, the street artist, but I was thinking we could look at Egyptian art and wings and feather ideas in that, or feathers used in fashion, like here's an Yves Saint Laurent shoe where you can see the feathers, and then feathers in artwork, or another Egyptian artwork with wings. But in the end I think the Kelsey Montague street artist is the way to go. So, and this is part of a painting, the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer by Gustav Klimt. I just used this to show when we do our wings, someone could stand in front of it. So she was standing in as my Red Bank Roadrunner. So the feathers will, we'll each have a feather. We'll start with white at the top. Fifth graders are all going to do white. And then each of the other home rooms will do a color, a different color, and then we'll have those like in rainbow order. Whoops. In rainbow order, creating the wings. And that will be in the bulletin board out in the hallway. So it's going to be really beautiful. And, okay, keep me on track. First, you want to draw your feathers. So you'll each get a piece of paper that matches with whatever paper everybody else in your class is getting. I'm just grabbing a random one. And you want to draw a feather and cut it out first. Those are the first two steps, draw and cut. Now, I wanted to practice first, and I was just thinking about feather shape, so I was drawing in my sketchbook, which you're welcome to draw it first in your sketchbook, or you can draw it straight away on your actual paper, but I would use pencil for this step. I'm going to tell you later about the markers we'll use, but for now I would use pencil. And for inspiration or reference, what an artist looks at to help them draw, I've printed out and laminated examples of feather artworks that you can look at to get ideas for. There's all sorts of different feather shapes. And that's one of the things that I think is going to be so cool about this project, because each one of these feathers will be unique, just like each one of us is unique. So I'm really excited to see all the different feathers. So you can do any type of feather shape. That other one I did, this one, I was thinking about more of like this kind of shape. You can't see that. There you go. This shape. And on this one, I'm thinking more about this kind of shape. But you can do any kind of shape of feather you want. So draw it. You can even add the little quill there at the end. And after you draw your feather, you're going to cut it out. So I'm going to cut carefully. And the great thing about this is if it's pencil, if you think, oh, I would like to change that a little bit, you can change it until you get it just right. And then you'll cut it out. This is the step 2. And I was going to say that you want it to be big, but really, feathers come in all sizes. So yours can be, really big, or it can be smaller. It's really up to you. The uniqueness of each of these feathers is part of the appeal of this project. So now I have that feather shape. To get these little openings, the little splits in the feather, all I did was cut little triangles out of the sides, and that just gave it made it more featherish. And we want our feathers to be featherish. I'm going to go ahead and do one more up here, just maybe a little tiny. Okay, so now I have my basic feather pattern. On this one I got a little fancy and did that little part, which you're welcome to do, but that was a little more challenging to cut out. So that's going to really depend on your cutting skills. And now we're ready for the drawing. And I made sure to throw all those little pieces into the trash. So I'll put bins at your table that you can put your trash in. This eventually will go into that bin, but I'm going to save it for now because it's going to help me with the next step, which is the coloring and the design part of the project. I got new markers for us to use, and they're similar to the construction paper crayons in that they work well on dark paper. So these are called gel markers, and look, bright colors on dark paper. Most markers don't work on dark paper because the markers are transparent, so the color of the paper comes through, and that dulls the color of the marker. These show up bright colors on dark paper. Then I have glitter markers that are a lot of fun to use, and they show up on the dark paper. I have in one of my books this one. I like to use my back page of my sketchbook, the inside cover, for testing, and then you could use this for testing. If you want to see what something looks like on white paper, you can test here. And then just throughout the year, I can use these pages to test any kind of materials to say, oh, well, does this pen work, or how's this color going to look? So this is where I was testing. But for this, you're welcome to do that. But we have the advantage of having this scrap of paper that's the exact same color as the paper we're going to be drawing on, our finished artwork. So you can test your markers on that and see how the color looks on your color paper, because they all interact differently with different colors of paper. So you can see this one doesn't show up that dark on this orange. So you can just practice with different ones and see what you think looks good, what you like, what kind of colors you think are going to show up well on your paper. So there are metallic markers that are like, this one's called black iron, that have a kind of sheen, like a metal kind of look to them. They're really pretty. And then the glitter, and you can see those sparkle. They have glitter. And you can even, in the barrel here, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you can actually see the liquid inside there. And sometimes you have to press the little tip, not too hard, but just a little bit to get those going. But those are a lot of fun. The glitter markers, and then there are the gel markers. And again, they all work differently on different types of paper, so you need to test and see what you like on your specific paper. So, metallic markers, glitter markers, and gel markers. And so a little housekeeping here. Just like our regular markers, for those of you that have been here before, I keep them in a box, and we keep them all one direction. This makes it easy to find the color you want. It also makes it easy for me, at a glance, to see that they're all capped. Now these special markers, it's going to be especially important that we make sure that they're all capped. So that's how we'll keep those all one direction in our marker bin. And then after that, it's just a matter of creating a design. I like to create some pattern. Remember, repetition creates a pattern, so repeating lines, repeating circles. But really, guys, this is where it's up to you. However you want to make your feather unique is up to you. So I think that I can go ahead and go now and fast forward, and if I think of other things, other tips, I can give you those as I go and complete my feather. Alrighty guys, I do have some tips to give you as you go and complete or create your feathers. Number one, always the first thing we do is put your name on the back of your work. Especially important if you want your feather back after display, which I'm sure you will. So get your name on the back. And you'll see here, guys, so that I don't get the marker on the table, I use my sketchbook as a little protector there. You'll also notice that when I first draw with that gel marker, it's dark and then it dries to a light color. So utilize those test papers to see how the colors are gonna look on your color of paper. Also, you'll notice when you use the glitter markers, you can shake them up to make sure that the glitter particles are just distributed in that marker liquid. You will just get one paper, so you need to make it work. If you need help drawing your feather shape, I will help you, but I want to see that you've tried first, so give it a go, and if you don't feel satisfied, then come to me and I can help you. You do want to do that first. In pencil, draw that big feather shape, and then cut the little triangles out after you've cut the big shape out. And if you want to color it all first before you cut it out, that's fine, but do draw your big feather shape with pencil so you can adjust if you need to. You don't have to finish today. If you need another day, that's fine. You can save it in your sketchbook and finish it next time, and I'll show you where you can turn it in if you do finish today. And let's see, just a cleanup tip. Put the markers away correctly as you go, and then you're going to save yourself a bunch of time at cleanup. Alright guys, here's one more little clip about the artist that we looked at. So enjoy this, and then we'll get started.
Definitely different. I had make-believe friends longer than probably everyone else, and my imagination was just huge. My name is Kelsey Montague, and I'm a street artist, and I'm here in Denver, Colorado. For me, being different, it gives you a new perspective on something, and that's something I've always really strived to do, giving people the chance of the unexpected. Since I can remember, I've been drawing angel wings and feathers, and my mom was a watercolorist, my grandpa was a painter. I grew up going into my grandfather's painting studio, and it was just this beautiful space and all these paintings everywhere, lots of texture, and he always hid a bird in every one of his paintings, and for him, it was very spiritual. That whole notion of like lifting just kept coming down through the family line. These pieces are for other people. Whoever walks by, it becomes their wings. I want people to not only feel creative and inspired, but I want people to feel like they have the choice to change their lives, and it's okay that you go for it.